Some people owe Yaroslav Askarov a big time apology.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the number one sports podcast network. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And today, it's Yaroslav Askarov's world, and we just live in it. We're going to be talking about Askarov's performance as the Sharks take down the defending Stanley Cup champions. President's Trophy one day, Stanley Cup champions the next day. It doesn't matter as the Sharks improve. They're over 500. What a world we live in. So we're going to talk about the game, talk about the ref show that was in this game, how this isn't a recipe for success. Plus, we'll dig into the numbers as the Sharks win 3-1. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So it turns out Yaroslav Askarov might be good. And what a performance tonight. As we'll talk about later. Not a recipe for success, long-term success. But tonight, Askarov takes on the defending Cup champions in the Florida Panthers and shuts them down, stopping 38, making 38 saves on 39 shots. And even the goal he gave up was a little we'll say controversial, as he gets his helmet knocked off right before Brad Marchand gets the puck and puts it into an empty net there. Really quick on that, I know the NHL, they're trying to be more kind of a little gray area with that, where it's Askarov losing his helmet there wasn't going to prevent him from making the save, if that makes sense. So I totally get it. And if it was the other way around, you would kind of feel like if the Sharks were in that position of being able to potentially score a goal there with the goalie getting I totally get it there. But back to Askarov tonight. Absolute maniac tonight. And as we've seen over the past few games here, just locked in. And this is the Askarov you traded for, right? Where in games where you didn't have your A game, you're getting, just hemmed in your own zone. You need someone to make a big time save here, and Askarov did it tonight. Askarov is the reason why the Sharks won this game, and he was absolutely outstanding. And we'll say credit to the Sharks here for, especially when we dig into the numbers later, but Askarov, I'm not trying to downplay his night, but he only had to face 7 high danger shots, and he made 6 saves on 7 high danger shots, 5 of 5 on mid danger, 24 of 24 low danger. The Sharks did a good job of keeping the crease clear and making his life easier. And again, he made some big time saves tonight, right? But that, though, is a recipe for success of trying to limit these low danger shots. And the Sharks have been doing a much better job of that as over the past couple of weeks during this, kind of streak and this improved play. The Sharks have been making the goalies' lives easier. Granted, right, Askarov still faced 39 shots tonight, and the shot attempts were astronomically out of proportion in favor of the Florida Panthers tonight. But these moments here where, again, second night of a back-to-back, you just played Winnipeg Jets, who again were the President Trophy team last year. You're facing the Stanley Cup, champions. Who, yes, I know they're missing key players, but that team is still, between the chemistry and the other pieces that they have, and just the way that team plays, right? Just extremely aggressive. They get away with literally anything, as we saw tonight. And Askarov stealing a game for the Sharks, that we would have seen the Sharks countless times blow this game, right? Where you get out to a 2-1 lead, you're stuck in your own zone, and then the Sharks blow, they give up that back-breaking goal, or they give up the tying goal, and then they can't find their offense again, and then they lose, right? Like, we've seen the Sharks do this 100 times. But now we have not only one in Askarov, but now you, like, with Nedeljkovic's play too, you feel like you can win any given night with these two guys. And Askarov, over the past couple weeks here, has really improved and has really shown why the Sharks gave up so much for him from the Nashville Predators, right? A first-round pick, and then David Edstrom, who is a former first-round pick, to acquire him and to, have him be the goalie of the future. Darren Stevens, who, of course, like Shark Stats, if you watch any of the broadcasts, he gets, mentioned all the time. He brought, sent this out. 3-0 in Askarov's last 3 starts, 1.32 goals allowed, 972 save percentage, 23 for 23 on the penalty kill when it comes to saves. Sustainable 970? No. But I think this helps to kind of even out what we saw from the beginning of the season, where it felt like Askarov couldn't stop a beach ball. Askarov has his confidence back now, and he just looks like the Askarov that we saw, especially with the Barracuda last year. And you saw, like, the post-game interview, right? On the bench, just like, playing to the crowd, being the Askarov, like the personality is back, the swagger is back. And that's when Askarov plays his best, right? When that swagger is there, and he is just, kind of living up to it. And man, tonight was a huge performance from him. Quickly though, like, Celebrini continuing to do Maclin Celebrini things. Another goal tonight. Great work by Will Smith. Will Smith continuing to put together great games as well. And those two together, just absolutely dynamic. Celebrini extends his lead in the NHL when it comes to points. And something, we talked about in the summer, I mentioned it several times. People who were pro tank and, expecting the Sharks to try tank again this year. I said Maclin Celebrini and Yaroslav Askarov are going to drag you kicking and screaming to too many wins this year. And tonight was a perfect example of that, right? Yaroslav Askarov just being ridiculous. Maclin Celebrini out there scoring a goal as well. And like this team, who is now 1 point out of a playoff spot, which is ridiculous. They're six-game point streak, 3-game winning streak. And again, we talked about it yesterday. They're not playing like jabronis in the NHL. These are some of the best teams in the NHL, and teams that are expected to go very deep and on very deep playoff runs. And the Sharks they're getting points and they're getting wins against these teams. And they did it again tonight, despite having to deal with a bunch of ref stuff, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But Yaroslav Askarov living up to the bill as the franchise's goalie of the future and the goalie of the present now. And the nice thing is, again, between the way he's been playing and the way Nedeljkovic is playing, you have to have confidence that no matter who you throw out there, you're going to get a solid performance, if not a spectacular performance on any given night. So, this team is they're finding ways to win in some games that they probably shouldn't win, like tonight. But again, right now, you're just trying to kind of stack some points and see where this thing takes you, and just kind of ride it right now, because this team is super fun. That you can tell, like, this team is super fun, and they're they're just scratching the surface right now of what this team is eventually going to be. So we're going to break down the ref show. We're going to talk about, again, why this isn't a recipe for long-term success, but we'll take it tonight. So we'll discuss that here in just 1 second. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've heard them all before. It's just stress. I'm tired. It happens to everyone sometimes. When it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. That's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes getting started super easy. You connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. The process is fast, simple, and private. It's all handled by real doctors. If prescribed, your treatments shipped discreetly straight to your door. So visit Rougiette.com, RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so that way they know that we sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves. All right, before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. And of course, thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe. We'll have reactions after the games. We have something really special coming up on Monday with the Joe Thornton getting announced, or Joe Thornton's induction into the Hall of Fame. We'll have player interviews coming up. We'll talk about the Barracuda as well. Probably have a Barracuda episode coming up here really soon. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Any long-time listener knows, I try not to be a ref, complaining about the refs, because typically, I've said this spiel before, right? Typically in a season, it usually balances out, right? Where you're going to get calls that go against you that probably shouldn't have gone against you, and you're going to get calls that you probably didn't deserve, but typically it balances out. Ooh, tonight was a rough one for the refs, right? As the Sharks have to kill 5 penalties tonight against a Florida Panthers team that is, we know the style that they play, right? They are bullies. That's the type of hockey they play. They're going to come at you, they're going to play along the margins there, try to take advantage of any opportunity that they get. That is their style of hockey, and it has worked very well, right? With back-to-back championships, and then a third appearance in the past 3 seasons. This team knows their identity. They play to their identity. But just the egregious non-calls for the Panthers tonight, right? A easy too many men, 6 guys on the ice, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can easily count that they have 6 guys on the ice. No call. Maclin Celebrini just getting cross-checked, and then someone just lies on him in the slot. And I know Maclin Celebrini is 19 years old, right? And you got to kind of work to kind of get those calls, but just egregious lack of calls there, right? And again, this is in the slot right in front of the goalie. Every ref is looking in this direction, and nothing. Adam Gaudette just working his tail off to get the puck, gets yanked down behind the net. Absolutely nothing there. So, and I'm not saying that the calls that the Sharks got called for, they were trips and stuff. They got their, you have to be better with your stick and stuff. But if you're gonna call it, just call it for both teams. That, I think that was a frustrating part where the Sharks were not getting the benefit of the doubt with some of these calls, while the Florida Panthers were getting away with whatever they wanted. And granted, right, this is a team that has, again, gone to the Stanley Cup 3 years in a row and has won it back-to-back years. Like, you're going to get some leeway, especially again with the style of play. They play to that where they dare the refs, to call it, and the refs aren't going to call everything. And yeah, anyway, that's my piece. So I think that's what makes this win even better, is that they overcame what they had to, and they overcame the horrible calls as well, because it would have been terrible to get on here and be like, the Sharks lost 3-2 and the refs just did not care. So again, makes it feel a little bit better that you were able to kind of beat both teams tonight. So again, the Sharks are going to have their games where they're going to get some calls. Like, it just naturally bounces out, but super frustrating. As great as the win was, like, this as this team is trying to kind of build its identity and figure out what it is, the games like this are not a recipe for success, like long-term success. And that's something that we have talked about on this podcast several times, whether through team building, et cetera, but that sustainable success, right? Of trying to, again, be that next Colorado Avalanche, be that next Tampa Bay Lightning, be the next Florida Panthers, right? These teams that are as long as Celebrini and Smith and are healthy, and Askarov, if these guys are healthy, you're going to have a legitimate chance to win the Stanley Cup. The play tonight was definitely not a sustainable success. And like I said, the Askarov was the reason why the Sharks won this game, but you can't play games and expect to win where you're giving up 20 shots on goal. And again, like, this Florida team is ridiculous. Like, even without their best players, this team still is, they're going to play hard and they're going to make you work for it. Right. But these are going to be the things that, Ryan Warsofsky is going to have to continue to preach and not let this team, kind of get complacent, right? Because this is the maturity part of it, right? Is, yes, you're winning games right now, and you're winning games maybe you probably don't deserve to win. So you can't sit on your laurels and just think like, just, drop the puck, let's roll out here. We can do this. Like, this team still has a long way to go to be a competitive night in, night out team. And I think tonight was a nice reminder of how far this team still has to go to be one of those top teams, right? To be that next Avalanche team, to be that next Lightning team, to be that next Florida Panthers team. And again, like, the Panthers, who are down their two best players, right? Like, take Celebrini off the Sharks and take Will Smith off the Sharks and go out there and see how they perform, right? And like, we know this team would be the worst team in the NHL without Smith and Celebrini. And I think that's the credit to the Panthers and how they're playing right now. They don't have their two best players, and they're still playing extremely hard and playing really well at times. But I do, like I said, I think for San Jose, and as we're going to dig into the numbers, this is a great learning experience game, especially with you got a day off on Sunday. You got another practice before you jump on a plane to Minnesota. I think that should be Ryan Warsofsky's message, right? Is, we got a game here, but we cannot continue to play this way and expect to have the same results. It's just not sustainable to be giving up, basically 40 shots on goal and giving up 20 shots on goal in a period and think you're going to keep walking away with wins. So we did talk about in the pregame, right? Like, the Sharks need to take advantage of their opportunities. They did that tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit more here in a second. But tough way to live to try to win a bunch of games. So we're going to dig into the numbers behind this game, talk about how the Sharks were able to, again, take advantage of some of their opportunities. We'll look at the lines here in just 1 second. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for your shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, before we finish up, of course, want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. When you're done with this episode, go check out the Locked On NHL game night. Every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL game night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, let's dig into the numbers of this game because, again, Sharks definitely got away with one here, but we'll take it, right? We will take it. 44 minutes of 5-on-5, thanks to the ridiculous amount of power plays that the Panthers got in this game. 54 to 28 shot attempts at 5-on-5, 65.85 to 34.15% Corsi for, right? That pace of play. Panthers controlling the pace of play for the majority of this game. Actual shots, though, 30 to 17 in favor of the Panthers. Scoring chances, though, here's where, again, the Sharks took advantage of their opportunities. 15 to 13 in favor of the Panthers. 7 to 6 high danger chances in favor of the Panthers. So despite the Panthers taking basically, 2-1 shot attempts, 54 to 28, pretty close to the Sharks still quality over quantity, which has been kind of the Sharks' MO recently, is we may not be able to take every shot, but we're going to take advantage of we're going to get quality and earn quality opportunities, but we are going to take advantage of those. And the Sharks scored 2 goals at 5-on-5 compared to the Panthers 1. Expected goals for 1.75 to 1.45. So, again, this team, despite getting outplayed, the Sharks kept it close and kind of were able to generate some quality opportunities, against a very good defensive team, a team that has to play extremely defensive tonight right now without their top players. So, looking at the forward lines for the Sharks, so no changes from yesterday. Smith, Celebrini, Toffoli played 10-25, 8 to 13 shot attempts, 5 to 4 actual shots. Had the goal, of course, 0.51 to 0.15 expected goals for, 4 to 4 scoring chances, and 2 to 1 high danger chances. So the Celebrini line, again, taking advantage of their opportunities. Yes, they're getting hemmed in their zone for a little bit, but when they get that chance, right, they take off and they push and they try to kind of cause some chaos, and it worked out for them tonight. Kershev, Wenberg, Graf, 837, 4 to 8 shot attempts, 1 to 5 actual shots, gave up a goal. 0.02 to 0.33 expected goals for, 1 to 3 scoring chances, 0 to 3 high danger chances. So we knew this line was going to get the tough assignments, right? And they hung in there tonight. I thought Graf was ridiculous tonight. He made some great plays, right? The diving PK play to try to just get the puck out of the zone. Like Colin Graf, man, whatever you need him to do, he's going to do it. And then, of course, Wenberg gets rewarded with the empty netter because of Colin Graf getting the puck out of the zone there and shooting it down. And Wenberg gets on his horse. Super happy that those two guys were kind of the guys that made that empty netter happen, because they deserved the credit for that, for how hard they worked tonight. So, yes, numbers aren't pretty. Numbers are not pretty for them, but they hung in there. So, Skinner, Delanger, Cardwell, 758, 7 to 6 shot attempts, 5 to 3 actual shots, 0.26 to 0.18 expected goals for, 3-1 scoring chances, 1-0 high danger chances. I love this line tonight. I thought they, any time they were out there, they really set the table for the next line. This line was all over the ice tonight, and probably should have gotten rewarded with a goal. I thought they were going to score because of the way that they were playing. Skinner, again, like it feels like he's about ready to explode here and have a few goals. Cardwell, just continues to kind of do what same thing as Graf, right? Kind of whatever you need him to do, he's going to do. And Dellandrea, another guy who a lot of people I think owe an apology to. Dellandrea has been rock solid for the Sharks this season. So Gaudreau, Gaudette, Reeves played 554, 6-3 shot attempts, 5-2 actual shots, got a goal because of a Gaudette tip. 0.6 to 0.08 expected goals for, 4-1 scoring chances, 3-0 high danger chances. Right, bully line here. I thought Gaudreau was pretty solid tonight as well. Gaudette, Gaudette had another great night. Kind of got the goal. Of course, also should have had drawn a penalty, but alas. And Ryan Reeves, that wasn't frustrating because of the trip there. But this line was quietly effective tonight as well. So gotta feel pretty good about where the Sharks lines are. And again, when Eklund gets back, hopefully back here soon, like if you feel like the Sharks will be able to get another get another gear going here with the scoring. So defensively, so the Corsi's not going to be pretty because of how skewed it was for the Panthers, but the Dickinson Desharnais pairing, 52.38% Corsi 4, Ferraro Klingberg, 34.78, Orlov Liljegren 23.81. That Orlov line, they got a tough assignment tonight, but Dickinson I thought made some really nice plays as well. Had some miscues, as you would expect from a 19-year-old, especially when you play against this Panthers team that is so aggressive and they're going to press. Dickinson had some nice plays. You saw a couple nice, transition starters, and as he got the puck out of the zone, made a couple nice pinches as well. Like you just see the decision making with Dickinson just really start to kind of smooth out. Desharnais, like I said, man, he's really earned my respect this year and has, stand up for himself. Like you know exactly what you're getting from Desharnais. He knows he's comfortable in what his play. He knows exactly what's asked of him and he does it. So Ferraro Klingberg, a little bit of an adventure tonight. But I will like Ferraro on that PK, like that in that third period there where the Panthers were going all out to try to tie this thing up. Ferraro was a maniac on that PK, man. Just all effort from Mario Ferraro on that PK. So again, not a recipe for long-term success, but we're going to take it tonight as this Sharks team officially over 500, 1 point out of a playoff spot right now, which is something I didn't expect to say at any point this season. So look at us, guys. We'll see where this thing takes us, man. We'll see where it takes us. So make sure you're following along because this team is only going to get more and more fun. So, yeah, make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until Sunday night, Monday. Bye, friends.